Good morning and welcome to Daily Red Devil. Before we get into today's show, please do me a small favour. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're only 2 subscribers away from 41,200, so go and subscribe right now. And be sure to like the video as well. Let's try and see 500 likes on this episode. Now, the question I've got for you this morning is in relation to Manchester United's FA Cup tie against Leicester City this evening. And I want to know, what are your score predictions? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We will start the show off by talking about this game tonight. So, it goes without saying that this is a must-win game for Manchester United. Leicester City are in absolutely abysmal form. I'm just having a look at their form here. In the Premier League, they have won one game in the last 4. Their last game in the Premier League, they lost 4-0 to Everton. 2-0 to Fulham, 2-0 to Crystal Palace. They did beat Tottenham away from home, though. And I mean, to be fair, we're kind of like Tottenham at the moment. One game we play all right, the next game we lose. So, but obviously, there is a lot at stake here. The FA Cup presents an opportunity for Manchester United to qualify for Europe. That's how we got Europe this season, remember, by beating Man City in the FA Cup last year. So, yeah, we have to win this evening. And I think if Ruben Amorim was to lose this game tonight against Ruud van Nistelrooy at Old Trafford, serious questions would be asked because Crystal Palace are a good team. Brighton are a good team. Leicester are woeful. They are absolutely awful. So there's no excuses today. We have to beat Leicester City. Because even if you look at Ruud van Nistelrooy, when Ruud van Nistelrooy was the caretaker manager, do you remember just before Ruben Amorim came in, we had Ruud van Nistelrooy as the caretaker, was it for 2 games? And he beat Leicester City 5-2 in the League Cup, and then he beat Leicester City 3-0 in the Premier League. So our recent form against Leicester has been absolutely battering them, and that was with Ruud van Nistelrooy as the interim manager. So this evening we have to win. But score predictions-wise, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Will we win? Will we lose? How many goals? As crazy as it sounds, I'm not massively confident. Oh God, it's not a nice place to be, is it, at the moment, being a Man United fan? Going up against a team who've won 1 in the last 5. I've lost 4 of their last 5 games, and you're still not confident. I don't know. I really don't know. Realistically, the game's going to go like this. Leicester City will park the bus and we'll be trying to score a goal, but we can't score goals. And I could easily see it being we park the bus and they get a goal on the counter-attack, and then we can't then score to equalise. Like, that could easily happen. It all just depends, really, on our attacking players. I think defensively, we can keep Leicester at bay, realistically. And I think the only threat that they have is on the counter-attack and on set pieces. They're not going to outplay us. If they outplay us, I'll be made to look stupid. But in relation to a score prediction, I'm honestly torn. Which is a horrible place to be, isn't it? That I can't put my hand on my heart and say that I think we're going to beat Leicester City at home. I'm going to say 2-1, maybe. 2-1. I'll go with 2-1. Why not? But in relation to some team news, there is some positivity coming out because it was revealed last night by a very reliable Manchester United source that apparently Patrick Dorgu is set to start the game tonight. That should be exciting. The story came out saying that apparently Ahmad and Dorgu will be the wing-backs, which makes me think that we will actually then score some goals, to be fair, now that I think about it. Because if you look at the stats, when Ahmad has played at wing-back, that's when we've been actually scoring goals. So it'll probably be Ahmad at wing-back on the right, Dorgu on the left, and then you probably got Garnacho, Bruno as your 2 central attacking midfielders. Probably, I imagine, Højlund or Zirkzee as the striker, and then your midfield 2 will probably be Mainu and Ugarte. I think that will probably be the lineup. And then defensively, I imagine it will probably be Lenny Yoro, Maguire, and De Ligt. I think he'll have to go full strength today because obviously we don't have another game until next week, I don't think. Yeah, even longer. We don't have a game for 9 days after today. Our next game is against Tottenham Hotspur a week on Sunday. So we've got a 9-day rest after this. So he's got to go full strength. There's no resting players. Obviously, Patrick Dorgu starting will be a positive. Some people are saying that maybe Aiden Heaven will start, but I can't see it personally. I think the likelihood is it will be Maguire, De Ligt, and Lenny Yoro, I think. I'd be honestly stunned if he started Aiden Heaven in this game, but you never know. He started Kobe Mainoo as a striker last week, so nothing would surprise me at this point with Ruben Amorim in relation to his squad team selection. You know, maybe Aiden Heaven trained well this week and he says, you know what, I'm going to start you. And if he does, then fair play. But yeah, let's hope that Patrick Dorgu and Ahmad as the two wing-backs will create us opportunities, because this game's perfectly suited for that. Obviously, you can't really play Ahmad as a wing-back against Liverpool because their attacking threat is too dangerous and Ahmad's not good enough defensively. But when you're playing against a team who are just going to play a low block, park the bus, you want to have as much attacking options on the pitch as possible. And having Ahmad and Dorgu on those two wings playing really, really wide should create a bit of an overload in the opponent's half, and it should effectively then mean that we can create some chances and hopefully score some goals. So I'm going to go 2-1. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What are your score predictions? I would love to know what you all think. Right, let's talk a little bit about Harry Kane then, shall we? So this story is being reported by quite a few different people, but let's give you the overall headline to begin with. So Harry Kane has a release clause that is valid from January 2026. So that will be next January, about 10, 11 months from now. And apparently it is worth £62 million. This is what Fabrizio Romano reported yesterday. Harry Kane will be 32 years of age at that point. And the stories coming out from multiple different people are suggesting that apparently Jim Ratcliffe wants to bring Harry Kane to Manchester United. I'll be honest, from the off, when Harry Kane was available for transfer, was it 2 years ago now? Yeah, I think he just turned 30 or was 29. I thought Harry Kane would have been a world-class signing for Man United, and I think he would have made the difference. He would have got us goals, because the difference between someone like Harry Kane and Joshua Zirkzee, or Harry Kane and Rasmus Højlund, is he creates his own chances, he drops deep, he does other things than just score goals. And, you know, Harry Kane will probably end up being more of like a Rooney-type player later in his career, where he drops a lot deeper, and maybe he'll play as like a number 10, because, yes, his legs will start to go as he gets older, but he could definitely still fill one of those more deeper lying roles. But at the age of 32, is he worth £60 million? I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, if he gets you 20, 30 goals a season for 3 years, he probably is worth £60 million, to be fair. But obviously, as players get older, injuries become more of a problem. And it doesn't really follow what INEOS have told us their model is. Their model so far has been signing young prospect players, which in my opinion, they're buying because they see a resale value in. I think that's the thing that we have to remember here with INEOS. Same with Chelsea. Chelsea buy young players and they hope that then they can sell them for a profit. That's effectively their model. And if you look through our transfers over the last 12 months, since INEOS have been here, they bought Patrick Dorgu, 20 years of age. They bought Joshua Zirkzee, 23 years of age. De Ligt, 25. Ugarte, 23. Lenny Yoro, 18. Mazraoui was 25 when we signed him. Aiden Heaven, 18. So there's a bit of a path here, isn't there? That they're not really signing anybody over the age of 25. Most of these players are 18, 20, 22, 23. They're in their early 20s or even younger, some of them. And the model here is, you know, you buy Lenny Yoro for, what was it, about £45 million. And you hope that he comes to Manchester United, he does well, and then in 4 or 5 years, they'll try and sell him to Real Madrid for 80 million. That's the model that I think INEOS are going down. But they're buying these young players for cheap and hoping that in 4 or 5 years they become world class and then they can sell them for more money. I think that's what they're doing personally. And obviously Harry Kane doesn't really work in that plan, because you buy Harry Kane at the age of 32, you probably have to give him a 3 or 4 year contract. At the end of his contract, he'll be 36. And then at that point, it's probably either the MLS or the Saudi League, which you still might get a decent amount of money for, to be fair. But, you know, you're not going to double your money by buying Harry Kane at the age of 32 for 62 million. You might get 30 million back if you sold him to Saudi at the age of 35, 36. But would I take Harry Kane? I don't know. I would have 2 years ago, 100%. When he went to Bayern Munich, I would have bought Harry Kane in a heartbeat because I think he would have been the answer to our problems. But yeah, let me just have a look. So they signed Harry Kane in August 2023. So yeah, I think he just turned 29, Harry Kane. And he's obviously still banging in goals for fun, isn't he? He's got, this season alone, or since he's joined Bayern Munich, he's got 19 goals and 8 assists so far for Bayern Munich and 6 goals in the Champions League. So he's absolutely banging in goals for fun, Harry Kane, and he'll continue to do that, I think. But would I take him at the age of 32? £62 million. I'm probably going to say no, to be honest, because I don't know. I just think that even with Harry Kane, it's still not going to be enough to get us from where we are now to, like, say, competing. Or maybe it will. I don't know. It's so hard to give an answer on this one because he does score goals. But I think investing £62 million in a 32-year-old, it's short-term success, isn't it? And if that doesn't work, then if he comes to Manchester United and it takes a couple of years to start building, by that point, he's probably going to be on the way out anyway. So it's a risk, but it might pay off. And the other thing as well you have to consider with this is we're trying to bring our wage bill down. We're trying to stop giving players big amounts of money. And Harry Kane's salary at Bayern Munich at the moment is over £400,000 per week. So he's paid vast amounts of money by Bayern Munich. And obviously, if he came to Manchester United, he's not going to want to accept less, is he? But yeah, I would probably say no. Let's do a little poll though, shall we? Let's do a poll. Whilst I'm setting up the poll, if everybody who's watching can do me a favour and like the video, that would be really, really appreciated. And make sure to subscribe as well. I've just dropped a link into the chat to, let me do this. Would you buy Harry Kane for 62 million at age 32? So the question is simple. Would you buy Harry Kane for 62 million at the age of 32? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you're watching this back on repeat. And if you're watching live, obviously you can get involved in the poll. So go and do that right now. Somebody says Harry Kane is 31, not 29. But what I said was that I would have taken Harry Kane at the age of 29, which was the age he was when he left Tottenham to join Bayern Munich. That's what I said. So would I have taken Harry Kane when he joined Bayern Munich? Yes. Would I take Harry Kane now at the age of 32, which is what he'll be when his release clause comes into play? I'd probably say no, personally. I just think that at his age, injury record, wages, price, no. Somebody saying, here we go with the English bias. If Harry Kane wasn't English, would we be talking about him at the age of 32? Well, would we be talking about the top goal scorer at Bayern Munich, the top goal scorer in the Champions League, the top goal scorer in the Bundesliga for the last 2 years? Would we be talking about them at the age of 32? Of course we would. I mean, it's a bit of a stupid thing to say, really. If he'd scored 5 goals in his Bayern Munich career in 2 years, then no, obviously we wouldn't be talking about him. But it doesn't make a difference whether he's English. He's been banging in goals for fun over the last 2 seasons, and he has for his whole career. That's like being like, why did we sign Cristiano Ronaldo? You know, like we signed Cristiano Ronaldo because he was going to go to Manchester City, but also because he was still scoring goals. How old was Cristiano when we signed him? 37? He scored 18 goals in the Premier League in 1 season. So I don't really understand this whole narrative of being like, oh, Harry Kane's only worth talking about because he's English. People are talking about Harry Kane because he's still a prolific goal scorer. That's why people are talking about him. The guy's got 26 goals and 10 assists in all competitions this season. That's 36 goal contributions in 27 games. More than a goal contribution every single match. That's why people are talking about Harry Kane, not because he's English. I don't really understand this whole narrative of being like, oh, it's English bias. It would be English bias if I was to say Jack Grealish is world class when he's not, because he's English, you know? That would be English bias. The fact of the matter is, Harry Kane is one of the best strikers in the world. He is. It's a fact. Look at his stats. And that's why people are talking about him, because in 10 months' time, he's available for £62 million. That's why this conversation is being had. Not because he's got an English passport. That has nothing to do with it. Yeah, I mean, it's just a bit of a strange thing to say, really. And then if you look at his stats for last year as well, if you want to continue this argument, he got 36 goals last season and 8 assists in 32 Bundesliga games. And he got 8 goals and 4 assists in the Champions League, averaging a goal or an assist every single game in the Champions League. So that's why people are talking about him, because he continues to be prolific for Bayern Munich. Not just in the Bundesliga either, before people say, oh, it's a lesser league, in the Champions League. That's why people are talking about him, because Manchester United need goals, need to sign a striker, and he's available. That's why. The season before that in the Premier League, he got 30 goals in 38 games. And just to be clear as well, I'm saying I wouldn't sign him, but this is why people are talking about him. People aren't talking about him because he's English. So, yeah, I don't really understand that whole narrative, but fair enough. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Joshua Zirkzee then. So the story this morning is saying that apparently Napoli are planning on making a summer approach for Joshua Zirkzee. Obviously, they made a decent amount of money in the January window from selling Kvaratskhelia, and also, obviously, they're going to sell Victor Osimhen in the summer, and they want to bring in a new striker. So this is one definitely to keep an eye on. Would I keep Joshua Zirkzee at Manchester United? I don't know. I'd give him obviously till the end of the season and see how he does. But if Napoli came along and said, we'll give you the money back that you invested into Joshua Zirkzee, I would probably take it. I think he's a good player. I'm just not sure that he suits English football. I think he's more of a... I think he suits Serie A, definitely, where he has more time on the ball. Like, I saw a clip yesterday of Crystal Palace's second goal, and he played one of the most awful passes I've ever seen, and then Crystal Palace scored. I'm not saying that we should sell him because of that. I'm just saying that in the Serie A, you might get away with that. But in the Premier League, you make one bad pass, and next thing you know, the other team have scored. So, somebody in the chat says, if Harry Kane was German, would you take him for 60 million? And he says, no, ... simple, ... But we took Cristiano Ronaldo at the age of 37. And he's not English, he's Portuguese. Weird. I think a lot of people just don't seem to like Harry Kane, which is strange. That's like being like, why did we sign Ibrahimovic? Why did we sign Harry Kane? I mean, how old was Ibrahimovic when we signed him? I imagine 99% of people watching this video were pretty excited when we signed Ibrahimovic, right? I was buzzing when we signed Ibrahimovic. We signed Ibrahimovic in 2016, right? And he was, at that point, 35 years of age. So we got Ibrahimovic, and he was 3 years older than the age of Harry Kane will be when he's available in January. I just don't understand this argument. It's a strange argument. Very strange. Same with like Cavani. I imagine most people watching were excited when we got Cavani, weren't they? He's not English. He's from Uruguay. We signed him when he was, that was 2 years. We signed him 4 years ago. He was 33. So arguably our 3 best strikers in the last decade, goal scoring wise, Cavani, Ibrahimovic, and Ronaldo, were all signed older than the age Harry Kane will be when he's available in January. And none of them are English. One's Uruguayan, one's Swedish, and one's Portuguese. But anyway, yeah, you can let me know your thoughts on Joshua Zirkzee. Would you keep him? Let me know. But yeah, I mean, as I said 5 minutes ago, I wouldn't go sign Harry Kane. I'd be looking to get Gyökeres. I'd get Osimhen. I'd get Jonathan David. I'd get any of these players ahead of Harry Kane, personally. just because of the amount of money it would cost and the wages. That's what puts me off, and the age profile. So, yeah. Right, let's move on to that, though. I'm going to do a new poll about... We'll do a new poll on Joshua Zirkzee. I'd be interested to see what you'll think about Zirkzee. Would you sell Joshua Zirkzee in the summer? So you can get involved in this poll in the live chat. The question is simple. Would you sell Joshua Zirkzee in the summer? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you're watching this back on repeat. This is obviously in relation to the news that broke last night that apparently Napoli are looking to strengthen their squad after selling Kvaratskhelia, and obviously they're going to be selling Victor Osimhen in the summer, and they want to buy an attacking player. Yeah, my stance is simple. If they were to offer us the money that we paid to Bologna for him, I would sell him. But yeah, I'd want to get our money back is my kind of stance. So yeah, if we got our money back, then I would be happy. But you can let me know your thoughts on that one in the comment section below. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit quickly about Giovanni Kenda from Sporting Lisbon. He seems like he is Manchester United's number one target for the right wing-back position. Obviously, we've got Patrick Dorgu for the left. And it looks like Manchester United are now stepping up their interest in Sporting Lisbon's Giovanni Kenda. This is being reported by multiple different outlets this morning. He's got a release clause of 100 million euros, which is, let's be honest, ridiculous. He's only 17 years of age. But there is an understanding that apparently Manchester United feel like they could get a deal done for around 40 million euros. This was reported by David Ornstein in The Athletic and Laurie Whitwell in The Athletic a couple of days ago. I'll be honest, I've only seen this guy play a couple of times, Giovanni Kenda. Obviously very talented, very young. But he is obviously still a prospect. He could come to Manchester United and he could be another Anthony. I don't think he would be personally, but there's obviously that risk. Statistically wise, he's not really creating that much or offering that much for Sporting Lisbon at the moment. He's got 1 goal and 2 assists in 20 games for Sporting Lisbon this season. And most of that time he's played as more of a right midfielder than a right wing back. But I know in Sporting system, the right midfielder is like a right wing back, isn't it? So he's definitely one for the future. I would be more than up for bringing this guy in, but not for kind of 100 million. That's ridiculous. If it was 30, 40 million euros, I think it's worth a risk. But yeah, I'm obviously interested to see what you guys will think about this guy. Giovanni Kenda. Is there anybody who watches the videos who, watches Sporting Lisbon regularly? Let me know. I'd obviously love to know a bit more about this guy. I've seen a fair few videos on him, and I've seen like a couple of Sporting Lisbon's games, and he looks good. He looks like a raw, exciting talent. But yeah, apparently he's available for 40 million euros. That's what David Ornstein reported a couple of days ago. So yeah, I'd be interested to know what you guys all think about that one. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, everybody. I'll be back this evening once the game is over. Hopefully we've won. I can't even begin to imagine what the reaction's going to be like if we lose to Leicester City tonight. It's not going to be good, is it? But let's keep our fingers crossed. Have a good day, everybody. Happy Friday, and I'll speak to you all on the next one. Don't forget to drop a like as well before you leave. We're trying to hit 500 likes on this video. And if you are watching for the first time today, don't forget to subscribe to the channel on your way out. This has been Daily Red Devil. I'll speak to you all on the next one. Bye for now.